Hey guys, it's Cyborg. I just wanted to cover the speed of the game because I know that's something that a lot of people were curious about, including myself. Going into this game, that was one of the biggest questions I had is how does it feel? How does it play? How fast do you move? What are the dashes like? What are the air dashes? Does the roll really work? Is it a good replacement for the run? Is it even comparable? Well, I'm hoping to answer that for you guys today, or at least give you my impression. So, to the best of my ability, I've played it for a few hours now. It took me a while to get used to. It took me about an hour to really start to feel comfortable with the game. Coming off of MKX, which is so quick, and you have to be on your toes at all times because of that run button. This time, it's still Injustice. I mean, ultimately, to answer all those questions, it's definitely Injustice. It's its own thing, completely separate from MKX. It has little hints here and there. They've definitely polished the experience. It is Injustice 1's gameplay in terms of it. Like I said, it still feels just like Injustice 1 with improvements. So it's not Injustice 1 slash MKX or anything like that. It's not MKX.5 with the DC reskin. It's nothing like that. It is still Injustice. It's smoother, it's quicker, it feels more polished. So definitely, if you are a fan of Injustice 1, you will be a fan of this. If you were not a fan of how Injustice 1 played, you may not like this. This may not be enough of a departure to turn you around. But yeah, let's kind of jump into the actual specifics. With dashes, they're still useful, but you're relying on these dashes because we'll get into the roll, but these dashes still are what you're gonna. If you're not a good dasher, ducker, dash, duck, if you're not good at that, I'm certainly not that great at that, then you're gonna be struggling against zoning, and you'll probably be having a very rough time. Tempo's very frustrated facing my Supergirl, as I would continually keep him at the end of the screen and try and play keep away, so to speak. And we're playing that cat and mouse game. And he was not very happy to try and get in each time, but yeah, that's just the nature of the beast. Supergirl is really good at that with her very quick eye beams, so you can usually catch people when they're trying to dash in or trying to escape in any sort of way. So dash is still useful. Nothing really new about them. They take you about, I want to say, maybe a fourth of the screen, third of the screen. They get you in pretty quickly. Same with the air dash. That is also useful. That'll get you a third of the screen, I want to say. So that's very useful on jump in, because jump ins in general are very unsafe. You can open yourself up to anti-airs very easily, so you got to watch out for that. But if you catch somebody with an air dash, you can open up a combo there. So those are very useful. Let's go to the roll, because the roll is essentially Injustice's run. So does it work? Does it not work? Yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet thing, because it works at the same time as it doesn't. Like, the actual, when you're doing the roll, it feels nice, it feels useful, but getting the roll to start and the startup on the roll, that is, I don't like it right now. I'm hoping they improve it by making it quicker, because right now it feels like you have to do an entire dash and burn into the roll, which if you're stuck in a corner, you're not rolling out of there. I mean, you can, if you're across the screen from your opponent, yeah, you can certainly start a roll, but you're going to catch projectiles just trying to get that thing to work. It is not very quick to have happen. It's not as quick as it is. For example, comparing it to MKX, when you go to run, you run immediately when you press those buttons. So the roll, it feels like there's a little bit of delay on making it happen, where it needs to be instantaneous, especially because it's taken a bar of meter to make happen. So I really hope they make that quicker, because I really like what it does and what it offers. But I very often find myself not wanting to use it, because I feel like if I go to dash forward, I'm opening myself up to a combo, to a projectile. Especially if I'm in the corner, I'm not letting go of block. So yeah, that's the roll right now. Needs a little bit of tweaking, in my opinion, to get that to come out faster. Overall, though, comparing it to MKX, like I said, this is not a reskin of MKX. It's Injustice. If you weren't a fan of Injustice 1, this may not be enough to turn you around, but I like it. Took a while to get used to. I don't think I could, bounce back and forth between this and MKX. I feel like they're so different feeling that that would be tough, because MKX is just so quick, its own beast. But this game, and not to discount the gameplay itself, the gameplay moves at a pretty fast pace. While you're watching this footage, you'll notice we are moving quite quickly around the screen to each other, and we're always on the tips of our toes, so to speak, but at the same time, you really have to commit to each one of your actions. You can't bob and weave, so to speak, with how you're moving. It's a little bit more sluggish than that, and I don't know if that's going to vary from character to character, but so far, from playing Blue Beetle and Supergirl, they both feel very similar in speed, so yeah, I don't imagine that to change too much, but it's improved from Injustice 1, but it's not quite, yeah, if you're looking for MKX, this is probably not for you. But I definitely recommend trying it out, because once you get used to it, it definitely feels very smooth. Very nice. So those are my thoughts on the speed of the game thus far. So you guys take care. There's plenty more to come. I'll be touching upon gear. I got tons of gear for Supergirl, and plan to get more for the other characters, of course, through playing. So I'll be uploading videos showing off the gear that I have. I'm a big fan of the Supergirl appearance that I have right now, as you see in this video. I like the silver, the gray, the kind of muted red, so to speak, the dark muted red. Very cool looking. And I think that's her Phantom Zone shader that I have on there. So some great gear there. I'm definitely a big fan of the gear, but we'll get into that in another video, and we'll also be breaking down more competitive aspects in more detail and get Temp's opinion. So you guys stay tuned. Plenty more to come. Have a good one, guys.